Greetings fellow traders and a happy new year. This is Max and welcome to my Sunday market analysis where I'm gonna analyze the market and share with you my top trades for the upcoming week. The new year 2026 has already arrived and it is Sunday again. That means we will continue with the Sunday market analysis in this year as well. And during the holiday weeks there have still been some really major moves in the market, which is really interesting, but of course there have been some financial numbers released, some political events that made the prices move in all sorts of directions pretty much. And it's now time to look for new opportunities to profit off of further moves that are hopefully going to happen in the coming week. And as you can see, I have selected 4 pairs here with trades and trade setups that I'm interested in taking, and I'm really excited to share those with you. Of course, there's also a yellow marked pair, which is a pair from the previous week, which is not featured in this week's list, and we will have a look at that pair later to see how it has performed. So stay tuned until the end of the video for that. And without further ado, let's start here with the first pair, which is AUDUSD. And on AUDUSD, I am looking for a long position. You can see here we had a break, a retest of a round psychological level and an area of interest, which has been support or has been resistance. It has turned into support and price moved away from it again. Now this has happened again. We've had an area of interest here, which was resistance and even a round psychological level, and this is kind of a special round psychological level. You can see that the price has actually reacted to it. I actually drew the 0 point and then a lot of sixes round psychological level. What might be more significant is could actually be the 0.666 round psychological level, but it's a zone where the price definitely reacted to and which was quite significant for traders here. Maybe I will adjust it later on, but we can see here it has been resistance. Now it looks like it has turned into support. It even swept some liquidity here, so now I'm looking for a potential entry, and this looks like a Morningstar, so the perfect entry. But since it's the beginning of the week, I will wait for the London session to start, and I want to wait for another higher low here, maybe a second liquidity sweep, then some bullish price momentum and a really strong rejection of this area to then open a long position here on AUDUSD and profit off of a continuation to the upside. And it's really interesting to see here, even on the weekly chart, we had a really green weekly close here, which was actually in the week of Christmas, and then we have had a relatively neutral week here where it retested the zone. And it's important, since it's the beginning of the new month, look at the monthly chart as well. This might have been the wick down of this monthly candle here and might now fill the wick actually in the coming month. And what you can see here, we've even crossed the 50 EMA on the monthly chart. We haven't rejected it so far, so this is a really interesting indicator that the price might continue higher now. But of course it's important to be patient here and not enter right away. Maybe it will actually climb to the upside already without me getting the chance to open a position here, because it might happen prior to London session, but I want to wait for London session to start and then see how the price is behaving and whether I want to open a position here or not. And the next pair on my list is EURUSD. And on EURUSD, I'm actually also looking for a long position here. So on the weekly chart, it has ranged quite a bit. But why am I interested in this now? Well, we still have a round psychological level here, the 1.17 round psychological level, and an area of interest, which has been, especially on the daily chart, has been resistance, now turned into support. And now it looks like price is coming back into the zone here. And I'm waiting for it to kind of sweep some liquidity sitting below the zone, some buy orders that might be getting triggered here. And then I want to see a violent reversal or continuation to the upside here, and this will be then my entry chance. So it's important to wait. Maybe it will form some kind of right shoulder and then it will actually have a correction to the downside, but right now I'm looking for a potential entry around the zone here, maybe even rejecting the 50 EMA, so that would be some double confirmation or just an additional confluence that the price might continue higher. Of course it's interesting to look at the monthly chart again. The recent month has closed really green, and now we are still having the wick down of the newly forming month or monthly candlestick, so maybe then the price will actually head higher and retest the 1.19 round psychological level. And if it does, I want to be ready for it and want to get the chance to open a long position here. But it's important, I'm still waiting for price to come back into the zone here, hopefully sweep some liquidity and then show me the bullish structure that I'm looking for, and then I would open a long position. So next pair on my list is GBPUSD, and GBPUSD looks like such a clean setup or such a simple setup. It's really nice. So we've had an area of interest here, which has been support and has been resistance as well. And now it seems like it's not resistance anymore, and price has pushed through this area, and I'm now waiting for it to come back into the zone again, even down to the round psychological level, the 1.34 round psychological level. It even looks like it has tested this level already, but of course I have to wait for a London session to begin, and I'm waiting pretty much for a higher low or another cleaner liquidity sweep and retest of this area and the zone here to then get a chance to open a long position and profit off of a continuation to the upside. Of course, it's interesting to look at the monthly chart again, and we can see that the recent month has closed really far above the round psychological levels, so which is indicating some bullish power. And now we've had the wick down of the newly forming monthly candlestick here, and maybe there will be a further wick down, with that being the retest at the same time of the price area here and the price level. And if on the lower time frame I get the proper shift of structure and the clean entry signal, then I will open a long position here on GBPUSD. So fairly simple break and retest trade. Now let's go to the last pair on my list, which is USDCHF. And if you remember, on USDCHF I recently opened a short position, but unfortunately this was a stop out for me. But right now the price seems to show some bullish price action here, and I would like to profit off of that. So we've had a sweep below the area here, the area of interest, which has been support all the time. Now I was expecting it to become resistance, but it did not happen, and the price has just closed above it again here on the weekly chart, and even the recent monthly chart was actually fairly bearish here. And now on the lower time frame, you can see that the price has broken through the area again, and it now came back into it, came down and even retested the 0.79 round psychological level. And I just want to see it happening again, and then showing me the confirmation that there is some buying power in the market and some bullish pressure here. Then I would open a short position if I get a long position if I get the entry signal on the lower time frame. So a long position it is for USDCHF, entering at a higher low here, but hopefully it will sweep this area once again and then reject it really clearly and cleanly. And then this is a really nice indication for me that we will actually see a rising price on USDCHF. Structure wise, we are still in a major downtrend. However, this is like a new low here, and we might see a correction now, and this could be the time because the recent weekly candlestick closed really green, and now we will have a wick down, which is another retest. And then if I open a long position here, it might actually have a correction or just a bounce back into the 0.805 round psychological level. And that's already it with the pairs for the coming week. Now let's have a look at the pair from last week, which is CAD-CHF, to see how it has performed. So on CAD-CHF, I was looking for a long position entry, and I decided not to take this long position, but to then open the short position on USDCHF. So on CAD-CHF, I was waiting for a higher low to form to then open the long position on CAD-CHF and profit off of a continuation to the upside. So far, it has not really continued to the upside, and it was ranging so much for me that I decided not to open a position here, because as you can see, there haven't been any major price moves here on this pair. So it's not really, it was never a really clean entry for me, which is why I skipped it. And what you can see, it seems to be coming down back into the area again. Maybe it will retest it once again and then reject it. Then this could be another chance to open a long position here. But right now it does not look like there will be some major move in the near future, even though we have a couple of news events here. But right now this is not interesting for me trade anymore. I'm just observing now, see what it is doing, and then make a decision based off of that, whether I want to open a new position here or not. So far the setup is looking quite nice. We've had a double top here with a break of this neckline of this double top, or it could even be an inverse head and shoulders pattern. And we had a break, and this looks like it is the retest, and we have a 50 EMA rejection here, and then it might continue higher. This was the original plan, and I do believe it will still have a correction to the upside. But as I said, I won't take any action now. I just want to see what the price is doing, and then see if I can find a new chance to open a long position or a different position, maybe a short position. And that's already it for this week's Sunday market analysis. I've looked at the other pairs too, but I did not find any great trade setups for the coming week. But I've set price alarms on some pairs, and if one of those alarms is getting triggered, I will have a look at the respective pair again and then see if I can find a new entry for the coming week. If you want to get notified whenever that happens, or if you want to receive regular trade updates on my actual running trades and get notified whenever I open or close a position, you can just join my free Telegram channel. I will put a link to it into the video description. You will also find a link to my other socials there. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below and I will try to answer your questions. Thank you for watching. I wish you a successful trading week. Remember to manage your risk properly and see you next Sunday.